The final issue opens where we see an armor agent pleading for Morbius to give his coordinates so they could transport him and the team before the orbital strike came in, eliminating the zombie threat on this Earth before it could spread. Telling the director that she could not reach the Midnight Suns, she asked if she could abort the incoming strike. After a slight pause, Director Little Sky responded with a resounding no. He told the woman that the Suns knew the risk of this mission prior to taking it, and they absolutely could not let this virus get off this island. Looking on at the countdown, he told his team that the Suns would not be remembered as the monsters this world once thought they were, rather as heroes. Things then cut back to Black Talon's manor, where we see the zombified night shift had barged their way through, ready to help themselves to the tasty fleshy morsels inside. The Dormammu possessed Jennifer Kale then told the team to hold off these vermin while she flew to the skies above to deal with the necrotic cloud looming over the island to finally put an end to this infected rainstorm that was turning everything and everyone into zombies. Cornered by the cannibal super team, Morbius and Hellstorm made their final stand, saying that it was an honor to serve as brothers together in this fight. Having no time for these theatrical dramatics, the Hood unloaded on the creatures with his automatic weapons, saying that just because he didn't have his powers certainly did not mean he was not packing heat. Engaging the undead, the men went to war, knowing that each strike just may be their last. We are then taken to the possessed Jennifer outside, who sensed that this zombified storm cloud had evolved into one collective superconsciousness, and something was controlling it from the inside. Swearing that she would take over this hive mind and bend it to her own will, Dormammu took her true form and flew into the cloud's center, where she came across a rather unexpected sight. This sight would be the zombified Deadpool, who was the one controlling the whole thing, and had now even grown himself a new body, where he finally got to scratch the phantom limb of those ever so itchy feet that he lost long ago. Remembering the mercenary for being the one responsible who attacked her and brought this plague to Earth 616, Jennifer demanded for the man to die, where she blasted him with her otherworldly flames. Legit just having been reunited with his body, poor Deadpool's reunion would be cut short as the attack reverted him to a head once more, destroying his hold over the cloud and temporarily freezing its effects. Located by his friend Simon, Deadpool, rather emotional from this journey, lamented his loss, saying that when he was part of the cloud, he felt like he was finally part of something bigger than himself. But once again, he was tracked down and destroyed before he could even find peace, and wondered if this was to be his life from now on. A cursed life for a cursed man from a cursed world. Walking towards the beach, the men came across the remains of the Man-Thing, whom they had killed after fusing in the last episode. Somewhat envying the creature's ability to die when they could not, the pair pressed on, where we see the Man-Thing's hand emerge from the swampy ground, a sure sign that nature was finally healing after the hell that occurred here on Tyno. Making their way to a small pier, the zombie duo looked on at the ocean waves, where Wade asked Simon what the point of them running even was, for they knew they would just be tracked down again. The merc with a mouth then told his friend that perhaps them being caught was the best choice, just so that things could finally end. Back at the mansion, we see Hellstorm holding off the infected night shift, where he is suddenly attacked by the possessed Jennifer. The man then attempted to perform an exorcism and expel Dormammu from her body, only for the girl, to puke acidic demon vomit all over his face. Telling the demon he was not Jennifer, the being confirmed this was true and took the form of Hellstorm's ex-wife Patsy. Attempting to seduce the priest, The dude proved how much of a Chad he was by not giving in to his earthly desires, revealing the beast for who it truly was. To make matters worse, Morbius was then attacked by the still very zombified Jack Russell, who was out to have himself a very morbid meal. Slamming the dude into a wall, a part of Russell's humanity came back, begging the vampire to kill him before he would do something that he regretted. Alas, Michael could not bring himself to do this to his friend, where Jack's zombified mind would take over once more, mocking the scientist, calling him a weak-hearted fool. As Morbius dealt with the Jack attack, we still see Hellstorm locked in fierce combat with Dormammu, who tried to tap into the man's psyche, saying that after his wife ended herself, he fled to the underworld to become a demon lord, where he too was rejected by the beings there, leaving him a reject from both heaven and hell. With his will stronger than Dormammu's corruption, the man confirmed this was true, because it was his human side the demons despised. He then told the creature that in this grand battle, when it comes to humanity, there is no good or bad. There is no sides, there is only them. He then used this logic to speak to the humanity within Jennifer in an attempt to awaken her once more. Holding onto Dormammu with the entire might of hell itself, Hellstorm continued his speech, bringing the woman's consciousness to life, where the pair managed to exorcise the demon, sending him back to the dark dimension once again. With Jennifer thanking the man for freeing her soul, we see Morbius still struggling with the poor zombie Jack. Seriously, dude? Jared Leto would have totally morbed him by now. However, we see things had actually played right into his hands, for at the end of the day, he was still a scientist, one who studied Jack's physiology and knew that his entire biochemistry changed under a full moon. Jack Russell himself may be infected, but not the werewolf by night. Working alongside Jennifer, Michael tossed the man in her direction, where she cast a spell of pure moonlight, transforming the man into his lichen form once more, ridding the island of one more zombie. Having a moment to collect themselves, Jennifer told Morbius that there was still the matter of the infected cloud. Having witnessed how it operated during her time as Dormammu, she told the scientists that with Deadpool gone, they needed a new undead host in order to contain it. Knowing this was going to need a lot of magic to get done, Morbius awoke the unconscious Black Talon and told him what needed to be done, where the ornery chicken man asked why he should help, where Morbius flashed his fangy pearly whites, which acted as some great methods of persuasion. Using their combined magical might, Jennifer and Talon worked together to bottle the cloud and prepared to transfer it to an undead vessel. As they worked, they were rudely interrupted by the body of the tyrant-type super zombie previously controlled by Deadpool, who was out to defend his cannibal cloud master. With the monster incapacitating both Werewolf by Night and Morbius, it would seem that our heroes were done for. That is until the fully healed Man-Thing Kool-Aid manned himself through the wall, ready for round 2. No longer poisoned by the cloud's pouring blood rain, the Swamp Man made quick work of the creature by lifting it off the ground and instantly incinerated it with his iconic burning touch. This honestly would be a sick fatality. Petition to add Man-Thing to Mortal Kombat, guys? With literally 11 seconds until the orbital strike, Talon reminded the team that they still needed a vessel to hold the cloud, and they kinda killed off all the zombies, leaving them with little to no options. As fate would have it, Simon Garth would arrive to the scene, ready to turn himself in for his crimes, all while holding the charred mask of zombie Deadpool, whom he had sadly killed, to prevent this madness from spreading. Seeing their prayers answered, Jennifer and Talon quickly poured the power of the cloud into the zombie, saving the entire island nation with a mere second to spare. With things in the clear, Morbius instantly called up and startled Director Little Sky, telling the man they were successful in their mission and to call off the nuclear strike. Way to go, man! You live to morb another day. With the nightmare finally over, Hood, repowered again due to him being Dormammu's vessel once more, thanked the heroes for saving him and his team, and promised not to whack them. This time. As the man teleported away, Jennifer asked Morbius if they should arrest them since they kinda were criminals, where the man told her that this one was not in their job description. Standing with his team, Michael told the Midnight Suns that he was proud of the work they did, and they could use their abilities to help this world more and protect it from other monsters and threats, which aimed to harm it. Locking up Simon, who now possessed the full power of the infected cloud, Michael was empathetic with the man and wondered just what could be going through his head as he was forced to kill the one being he could ever call his friend. We then see that good old Simon was craftier than we thought, for he actually faked zombie Deadpool's death and had placed his little buddy in a boat, letting the man sail off into the night, all while he sung about how the man was the best friend he ever had.